Unlike someone like Wike, who is just a thug. You know, Wike is not an intelligent man. He's just a thug. All he has is just violence. That's it. Take that away from him, he has nothing. You know, El-Rufai is also a thug, but in addition to being a thug, he's an intelligent thug. So that makes him a lot more dangerous. He's every bit the animal that Wike is, but he also has all the brains that Wike does not have. That's El-Rufai. The reason I think of him as a specifically such a dangerous person is not just the fact that his complicity or his involvement in the genocidal violence in southern Kaduna, or the fact that a personal friend of mine, Ibanga Isine, is also a journalist, was forced to flee Nigeria. He was forced to leave his family and flee the country because he wrote a 4-part story about the killings in southern Kaduna. And in the space of 6 days, in the space of 4 days, 6 of his 7 sources dropped dead, one after the other. And an attempt was made on his own life. And he had to run away from the country. And it's currently under protection.
Surprise, right? Okay, updates on the block. Lots of updates coming to your screens from Nation's Voice Tower. My name is Angelo. Welcome to your most preferred YouTube channel. I would, before I go further, I would like to thank our most dedicated viewers for always staying glued with us, showing us support in all ramifications, liking our videos and sharing it, and always tapping the subscribe button and also tapping the notification bell. Please, I will urge you to please do more of all these actions because YouTube uses all these actions to make us go viral. Now on the update of the first day, an investigative journalist, David Hundeyin, the same journalist that was responsible for the expose of President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu's alleged possession of dual citizenship, also famous for exposing the alleged ownership of an illegally acquired property by Sheyi Tinubu in London, has come out to lambaste the former governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai, over his alleged involvement in the wanton killings in Kaduna State. Now, this particular lambashment is coming after the viral video circulating the internet where El-Rufai was seen admonishing Muslim clerics over the justification of a Muslim ticket in Kaduna State. Now, if you have never known former Governor El-Rufai as a very bad man and as one who indulges in illicit activities as a form of governance through possession of a son of image laundering and connection, then I think this expose is for you. An interview with the journalist was just okay to do the magic and exposition. He didn't just talk about El-Rufai, he went further to compare Nasir El-Rufai with former Governor Nyesom Wike, and he gave their pros and cons and what they can do and what they cannot do. Okay, now this expose is well needed to call out Nasir El-Rufai because he needs to be called to order, especially as regards the just recent viral video that has gone over like 10,000 or 10 million views, talking about what just happened in Kaduna State, preferably southern Kaduna. Now, secrets have been laid bare in this particular expose. He has come outrightly to say all he knows about Nasir El-Rufai and his illegally minded governance in Kaduna State. Watch this expose. You will so be shocked. I'll be back.
Nasir El-Rufai, the reason I think of him as a specifically such a dangerous person is not just the fact that his complicity or his involvement in the genocidal violence in southern Kaduna, or the fact that a personal friend of mine, Ibanga Isine, is also a journalist, was forced to flee Nigeria. He was forced to leave his family and flee the country because he wrote a 4-part story about the killings in southern Kaduna. And in the space of 6 days, in the space of 4 days, 6 of his 7 sources dropped dead, one after the other. And an attempt was made on his own life. And he had to run away from the country. And it's currently under protection. Wow. You know. So there are so many issues for the reasons why another friend of mine, Stephen Kefas, also had to flee the country because of Nasir El-Rufai. You know, and before I fled the country, I already had run-ins with this fellow. One of the things that I did when I was part of the research team that put together the Silent Slaughter report in 2019 was we went to Kaduna State. Kaduna was where much of the report focused on. I went to a place called Kajuru in the aftermath of one of these attacks, and we documented the first time in my life I ever smelled what burning human flesh smells like. It's an absolutely revolting smell.
Wow.
Right? It doesn't kajuru. The first time I saw what the corpse of a child looks like, that was in Kajuru. So that's what I think about Nasir El-Rufai. So, but the reason I especially think of him as such a dangerous person, in addition to all of that, is that he's one of the few public officials in Nigeria who is also able to cover his brutality and his animal nature with a veneer of intellectualism. So he knows how to. He sponsors book fairs. He's the patron to a lot of supposed public intellectuals. He endows a scholarship at Oxford here, St. Andrew's College at the University of Oxford, £92,000 a year. He has a seat on the International Advisory Board at the African Studies Center at the University of Oxford. This thing called so if you're familiar with how the Saudi and Qatari royal families use sports to do this thing called sport washing. You could call this book washing, right? It's basically academic, what's the term for it now? Reputation management, or there's a specific term for it. It's not influence peddling. There's a term for it. I forget the name. Image laundering. Yeah, that's the term. That's so he's one of the few people who actually knows how to do these things. He has these connections. So the civil society organizations, El-Rufai is deeply embedded in a lot of them. I remember I did a story last year about Amnesty International Nigeria and how the former media officer, Issa Sanusi, was an El-Rufai operative inside Amnesty International. So something would happen to you. Maybe your community was attacked by these killer herdsmen in southern Kaduna. You'd get interviewed by a researcher at Amnesty International. And then this media officer at Amnesty International would try and get access to the researchers' information because they work in the same office, and potentially pass this across to El-Rufai. So he knows things he shouldn't know. He has access to information other people don't have access to. He's a genuinely dangerous person. So, unlike someone like Wike, who is just a thug. Wike is not an intelligent man. He's just a thug. All he has is just violence. That's it. Take that away from him, he has nothing. El-Rufai is also a thug, but in addition to being a thug, he's an intelligent thug. So that makes him a lot more dangerous. He's every bit the animal that Wike is, but he also has all the brains that Wike does not have. That's what makes him so dangerous. He has cleverly insinuated himself into so many different aspects of respectable Nigerian life. He has a daughter or a niece who is now a partner at PwC.
Wow.
Their what's it called? Advisory arm. She's a partner there. Probably this person is not probably the most qualified person to be partner, but guess what? Every single advisory contract from Kaduna State government goes to PwC. So she's bringing in the business. So she becomes partner. From there, because she has this sort of profile that has been built artificially, she can say, I'm a partner at PwC. The next thing is go into government, become some DG or some chairperson, become something, you understand? And that's how you build and consolidate power that you shouldn't have.
Yeah.
So that's why El-Rufai is such a specifically dangerous person. It's not just for the fact that he goes after people and gets people killed. It's also the fact that even the internationals, look what happened to me. In February, they tried to light me on fire here. They came, till today, they are still, if you go around Twitter and Facebook, you still see sponsored posts with my name on it saying David Hundeyin expelled from Oxford, blah, blah, blah. I never even had anything to do with Oxford. My fellowship was at Cambridge.
Yeah.
All right, welcome back. You would now say vividly that Nigeria is not just characterized by politicians who are dubiously minded, but Nigeria is characterized by highly intellectually inclined politicians that cannot stop anywhere in making their ways to the top. Okay, Nasir El-Rufai is one among these type of politicians. He is intellectually minded and he's a genius at what he does. Okay, these are people who mastermind different illicit dealings by not going out to wield weapons, but by intellectually putting through different catastrophic occurrences that would erupt or that will actually consolidate crisis amongst their own states, that will also go further or skyrocket or also sporadically shoot to a sort of unstable governance where they would come and serve as the only savior. This is intellectually minded, and only people like Nasir El-Rufai can indulge or can be seen doing this. We've seen situations where Nasir El-Rufai has come out to serve as a form of peacemaker between the Christians and Muslims in Kaduna State, especially over the ongoing crisis and wanton killings, kidnaps, murders, and abductions in southern Kaduna. But now we know more. Thanks to David Hundeyin for that expose. Next on my updates, I have a newly elected senator from Abia State under the Labour Party has been dragged on social media over a viral video where he was seen eulogizing and throwing praises on the president Bola Asiwaju Tinubu after meeting with him physically in a meeting though. Now the lawmaker, one Mr. Amobi Godwin Oga, appeared to be very, very excited over his first day, obviously, of meeting with the new president. Netizens and obedience alike have taken turns to react to this video as they all feel his comments were so wrong and wrongly brought. Reasons being that he's a member of the Labour Party and shouldn't be pitching his political tent with another opposition party regardless of who is involved. This should actually be because of the ongoing Presidential Elections Petitions Tribunal and nothing more. Trust me. Let me leave you to watch this viral video of this lawmaker throwing praises at Asiwaju. You will be shocked because I have not seen anyone throw praises at the new president in recent times. Watch this. More analysis when we come back.
Today is my best day. Today I'm so happy that I'm an elected member. Seeing my president talking. In fact, I have never knew that this man is so intelligent. I have never knew that this man is so prepared to serve this country. I saw the love, I saw the character, I saw the charisma, the belief that Nigeria can be a better nation. So I am so glad that what we are...
Okay, my take on that is this. Well, I would not blame Godwin Oga, who is actually, or who is obviously a new lawmaker in this new system. An old senator from an opposition party would not do that, okay? That is the truth, okay? Sentiments aside, an old lawmaker from another party would not do that. So I think he is trying to politically pave his way to wherever his plans are, because I believe every newly elected lawmaker, both in the National Assembly and in the Senatorial House, has a plan, okay? Politicians have a plan, okay? Some of these plans are long-term plans, some are short-term plans, but a plan is a plan. So to eulogize the president is not wrong. Don't get me wrong, okay? He's not actually wrong, but being from the Labour Party, okay, amidst the heat in the ongoing Presidential Elections Petitions Tribunal, you shouldn't be seen publicly eulogizing a president whose candidacy or whose presidency is being challenged in court. Not until it's being challenged and Asiwaju is confirmed as the legitimate and constitutionally elected president of Nigeria. Please, no lawmaker from an opposition party should come out and say such. Because if you ask me, I will tell you that if people who elected him into power in Abia State should see this video, if they had their way, they will withdraw one by one their votes. And then this particular lawmaker will be left with nothing to call his own. That is that on that update. Finally, on a program known as Mike on the Podcast, sponsored and anchored by Shein Akimbaloye from Channels News, he interviewed a budget expert and an economist, one Sheun Onibinde, on what his thoughts were over the abrupt removal of fuel subsidy by the incoming president Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. This removal of fuel subsidy has dealt a blow on Nigerians, talking about the hike in fuel pump price and the hardship that has come over Nigerians within the past few days. Now, his guest, Sheun Onibinde, expressed different plans for the subsidy, and the most interesting question of the day, which made me want to share this lovely answer with our most dedicated viewers on Nation's Voice Tower is, if you were in Tinubu's shoes, what would you have done as regards the fuel subsidy removal? And I tell you what, his answer was so interestingly interesting if you ask me. So without wasting much of your time, I have a brief clip from that interview which will interest you to hear, okay? Now watch this particular economist talk of his own plan of removal of fuel subsidy. Stay tuned.
If you were Bola Tinubu, when would you remove it and how would you remove it?
I'll give it 3 months. I'll give it 3 months. And I'm being honest, I'll give it 3 months. And the first thing I will do is that the cost of government, the size of government has to reduce. I have to show in facts, and I have to show it by evidence. I have to show by my action that I'm not going to have another 100 or 200 aides. I'm not going to be driving in a car of 70-car convoy. I have to make an example to show that I am also feeling this pain like you do. I will show an example by the Oron-Saye report. Whatever needs to be adjusted, whatever needs to happen by agencies that should be merged, agencies that should go back to departments, commissions or agencies that need to be abolished so that we can have a much leaner government, I will do that. And thirdly, what I will do is on procurement. I will show that there can be a difference without public procurement and contracting is done so that actually efficiency is not that when something costs 10 naira and government is buying that same thing for 25 naira. When I show that, I build up trust. I build up a bit of commitment to show that I'm putting you to a position of pain, which is going to be, but I'm also on that receiving side as much as possible. Not you waking up and say, I yank off subsidy, and you have not even proven to us that government would do things differently in the way it has been done in the previous space. I don't agree to that point. If you've been paying subsidy for over 30 something or 25 years, are you saying that 3 months of paying subsidies was going to kill Nigerians? No.
All right, welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is still Nation's Voice Tower, your most preferred YouTube channel. I would say thank you to all our viewers for keeping faith with us over time and giving us the sort of recognition we have gotten in the space of time. My take on that particular video is this. I would say outrightly that any footballer who is not on the pitch would actually play more than the footballers on pitch, because the tension and the heat on the football pitch is quite different from that of a spectating fan. Okay, so I would not actually write off the comments of Sheyin Onubinde in that video, but I feel that he has a better plan and should please profile this solution to Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. That's my take on that. Thanks for joining us. Keep a date with us in the Court of Appeal today as the ongoing Presidential Elections Petition Tribunal takes place and continues. Thanks for always keeping faith with us. See you in my next video. Bye.